How do you go from playing baseball for the Canadian national team, transition through the corporate world, and end up building an incredible franchise organization?
I have a sporting background. I pitched for a Canadian national team in baseball, and I tried out for the Edmonton Eskimos right out of high school. I then completed my sporting background and went through a phase of life where, you're looking at what does an ex-athlete do, with entrepreneurial spirit in terms of building a business.
We're going to talk with Terry Pallier, and he has some great insights into how you can build your own franchise organization. What do you feel are the three skills or things that someone needs to be successful in franchising?
The three skills I always find that successful franchisee, obviously, number one, you have to have that entrepreneurial spirit. You have to love business. You have to have a drive that is different, than others around you, perhaps in your network, that just sets you apart, that you love building. You love being part of pioneering a path for yourself as you grow and put your footprint on something. Secondly, have some acumen, have some financial and business acumen, have an understanding of the way business operate and the way the financial reporting metrics is going to benefit the health of the business. And then finally, the operational background to build that infrastructure, to support the management of people, to really ensure that the number one priority, I believe, that you have to have and that is in your gift mix is a care and compassion for people. If you show that you care and you invest in your people, they will respond in a positive fashion to grow your entity.
So when you looked at Action Coach, what made you invest in a franchise and furthermore in this type of a business coaching franchise?
I looked at my entrepreneurial background. I built a national organization and I've been part of several businesses from a startup and taken them to successful sale and completion, if you will, on my end. And when I looked over my life and you get to that stage where it just feels good to benefit others. It feels good to give back. So when I looked at franchising as a whole and specifically attracted me to Action Coach was the internal support system, the network that was there to provide that element of what I needed to take the fruits of everything that I built and bring back those benefits to me. And what I meant is giving something back. When you see people flourish, that does something internal to us. It's a very positive realization of growing business.
How has Action Coach become such a popular concept or attraction in the white collar business?
When I went through, and I can speak on it from a personal note, when I looked at Action Coach, amongst my other endeavors and what I've achieved through life, I was at a stage where I really wanted to be careful as well as diligent and get into the depth. I wanted to peel back the layers and the things that I really identified that really encouraged me and inspired me with Action Coach. I love the leadership. That is a foundation of Action Coach. That was paramount to me when I look at, there's a lot of leadership in other industries and businesses that I've encountered that is less to be desired. Like they say what they're going to do and they really don't come through. And I believe that's really what separates Action Coach is they really get into the depth of what leadership looks like. They really care about how people acquire personal skill set, how they continue to develop and grow as individuals. And that really inspired, that impressed. And then the other aspect is when you look at 30 years in an industry, that first and foremost speaks volumes. But when you really, again, get into the content of the materials, extremely profound, beneficial, and they work. That's really what I looked at, is I wanted to convince myself and wanted to assure myself that the content had a basis of integrity and credibility to bring benefits to businesses. And I really believe that's what separates Action Coach and why they are really growing in the white collar community.
You've had a career before, you had a life before franchising. How did curiosity led you to come to the franchise world?
I'm going to take you back a little ways just so that you can understand my journey that led me to today. I have a sporting background. I pitched for a Canadian national team in baseball, and I tried out for the Edmonton Eskimos right out of high school. I then completed my sporting background and went through a phase of life where, You're looking at what does an ex-athlete do in term, with entrepreneurial spirit in terms of building a business. So what did I do? I built a national organization in the field of neurobiology. And I always get a few chuckles that I worked with neurobiologists, pediatricians, child psychologists, and senior educators. I always had an affinity for the parent-child bond. And I felt it was deteriorating or eroding due to technology. You see a family of four at a dinner in a restaurant, they're all on their phones, they're not interacting. So I built a system designed to stimulate the cortical circuits of the brain to enhance brain development in children prior to the age of 5, implemented by mom and dad for 10 minutes a day, creating that lifelong bond between learning and parenting and building that relationship. And then I launched it up here in Canada from Vancouver Island, right across to the Maritimes. I had representation in every province in Canada. Then I sold that to a publicly traded company right downtown Toronto who tied me into the business for 3 years as the president and CEO of a publicly traded company. Very interesting growth curve for me as I went to a traded element where you go from inspiring and building up people to managing share price and shareholders. But the great thing was I spent a lot of time building inroads into China. One of my career highlights is I was the guest of honor at a dinner with the party secretary with the top level of the Chinese government. It just a tremendous experience and very fulfilling for me in terms of how the Chinese community and the country itself is very dedicated to the education of their young. After that experience, I took a few years off. And then I was approached by 3 good friends to just purchased a massive manufacturing facility. They came to me and asked me if, I'd be interested. They knew my background, be the president and CEO of a large engineered wood products manufacturing facility. And I'm like, guys, you got the wrong guy. I don't know anything about wood. They said, Terry, managing people is managing people. And I said, there is a premise to that. So I did some research and due diligence on that. I took on that challenge for the 4 years that I ran that. We were the world's largest and fastest growing engineered wood products company and did that for 4 years. And then I got out of that and built a company still thriving and growing today in restoration tied to the insurance world. So I have a very diverse background in what it takes to build and implement business. And then when I looked at the action coach opportunity and then you realize the efforts and how much it takes to build up an organization. When you look at the franchise opportunity, everything's there. The system is there. The content's created. I just have to go out and be myself. I just have to attract business where the system behind me is a proven system that leads to success. It's just dependent on my efforts to get out there and engage business.
I hope you have gained some valuable insights into the world of franchising. Please make sure to like and subscribe and share with your network. Also, click the link below to learn more about franchising with Action Coach.